Welcome everyone to the rematch from yesterday's matchup. The video from yesterday featured Nili versus Yax. Now, Yax, I think, is Yasin. Spectator dashboard is going to be Yasin, and that's a player we've seen before on my channel. I think playing up against T90 and NBL. That series that I have casted of T90 and NBL playing against Yasin and Ronto as Kurtlar. Anyway, this is a rematch of yesterday's game, and I'm not going to spoil yesterday's results, but it was quick. If you have 5 minutes, you have 3 minutes, right? The video is like 6 minutes long. The game is only half of the video. The rest of it is just me talking about the game. Same map. Nili was playing as the Magyar, so same civ for Nili, different civ for Yax over there on the eastern corner of the map. So Nili on the west corner of the map began with the unfortunate wood generation. Farther away from him, I feel like, yeah, a little farther away. That's a nice spot. But again, you have the same thing here for Nili. Actually, the generation looks a bit more balanced. Nili has kind of just this one, and yeah, I would say a pretty balanced Atacama generation here. I mean, there's no woodline here, which would make it perfectly balanced, I would say. Woodline here. But it's going to be scouts for Nili. Opening scouts, and going to transition to scout skirm. So he's making a commitment. He's closing in on Yax on the gold mine. Yax opening with Archer Spearman. So it's going to be Scout Skirm versus Archer Spearman. Let's see if Nili can pull a build pick. He cannot. How he dodges arrow fire. Running away from those archers. And on the gold mine here of Yax, just causing an annoyance. And Yax not really doing anything just yet. Ooh, except about losing his scout. And over here, Nili in over here with the scouts, just looking around, looking for an area to damage, but the scout, the spearman goes poke, and that scout somehow lives. I heard the attack notification, or the, the sound. The attack sound, and nope, no, scout didn't die. He goes down to a villager anyway. So Nili's all over Yax with the scouts, but the spearman there to protect. Now Yax is going to be able to move out with the archers and a couple spearmen. If you see players like Leary, this is where Leary just moves out. Ooh, he might find it. Nili going to find a build pick. Drops a villager there. KD, Eco KD, 1-0, KD 1-1. This is where Leary loves to move out with just one or two spearmen along with 2 archers. I think the classic is 2 archers, 2 spearmen, and 2 archers, 1 spearman, and just wrecks your eco. Yax really heavy on these berries. Apologies for the screen stasis. I'm getting a drink. Yax being forced to stay at home with his whole army. Nili controlling this game nicely, keeping the pressure over here on Yax very well in this game. And these skirms are going to really be a problem. I'm not sure. Now, one skirmisher is not that scary, but I'm not sure exactly how the fight would go between these two, but Nili has the force that he's able to just run the scouts in and out, and poke away with the skirms, where the skirms don't take a lot of damage from the archers. The archers do take a lot of damage from the skirms. The scouts just stay out of trouble. This is going to be a problem when those berries run out. Nili, a little better. He's got 6 villagers there. Yax has a lot of villagers on those berries. I don't love to see that. And Nili, able to put the pressure in. I like it. Really getting the pressure in. The Magyar showing their strength here. As Nili has made a commitment to a strategy and is executing it nicely to this point. Yax just grabs all those villagers and sends them on to gold. It's a lot of food banked up, but not a lot of food production. And I'm a little worried for Yax at this point. The game's certainly not over. A bad fight here for Nili would really... Yeah, Nili's army has been sort of cleaned up, but the next army is here. Now the problem is Nili doesn't have an army that can fight Yax. So Nili lost his army and it doesn't have one that can fight Yax, but he's in on this gold mine. And he's going to cause some more problems. An archer pick off. A lot of annoyance. These skirmishers are going to be a lot of annoyance. Nearly out on the wood line. Yax forced to stay in his base. Just now heading out and going to be able to get out. Drop the tower for protection. Don't love that. I'd rather see that there. Because you have another gold mine. The wood lines are actually more precious than gold on a map like Atacama. So I don't love that tower, and you never want to be forced into a tower. But on Atacama, it's generally a pretty safe bet to just drop a tower on your wood line. You know, if you're not winning the fights, go ahead and drop that tower right away. Yak's forced back and has all these villagers exposed if he loses the fight. So this is what I was saying about this tower. If this tower, while he had the armies up here, if he had put the tower here, he'd be able to hold this area a little bit better. And see, Nili can split up his armies and run around and find damage. He actually really needs to keep his armies together. He's fighting directly into a counter unit. That can't be efficient. And it's not. Nili with the KD lead and the cheaper army, both. Less of it, of course, but really caught up in the numbers. I like that. He's caught up in the numbers very well. 3 spears there against the 6 scouts. Going to be able to push those away and keep them at bay. But back in on the villas is Nili on the wood line. And Yax has to react. He's got to make something to deal with these skirmishers. And at this point, man, both players on the way to the castle edge. Yax about a minute faster. So that's going to be a time window when Nili sees him in the castle edge, he needs to run back to his base immediately and try to keep what's left of his army alive. That crossbow mass is going to be brutal. But Nili really pushing the pressure on Yax. Now, Nili, if you look down at the bottom right corner of your screen, you'll see the idle TC time. And you'll see that Nili's TC has been idle for quite a bit this game. Not really what you want to see. Nili trying to keep Yax on his toes. Instead, Nili just gonna... Well, didn't take too much damage there. And Nili still pressuring in, even though those are gonna be crossbowmen. This is when you want to leave, Nili. I don't know... Okay, now Nili's gonna back away, and I think run away. Crossbow Bodkin on the way in, Nili backing out of this fight. He's gonna have to go for Elite Skirm, and Elite Skirm's also a slow upgrade. Gets a fill kill over here. So the Eco KD 2-0, the KD up even 15-15. But this army is a problem. Nili diving in with the scouts. He figures, hey, I don't need these anymore. Changes his mind after getting a villager killed, losing a scout. Good work there for Nili. But Yax headed forward. Drop a tower, Nili. Like, you desperately needed towers too. Going into Knights and Elite Skirm and making the late cav. I like that. That's an underrated move right there. You've got 6 scouts, your Magyars, you've got the attack upgrades on them already. You're going into cavalry. Spend that little bit of resources. Now, don't throw it away right now. Nili, get out of there. Get out, get out. Okay. Now engage. You've got guys coming in on both sides. You got light cav and Knights, you got and skirms. Can sandwich this army. If you can win this fight, it's GG. And you really have an army. Now, these skirms, that extra armor, it's in. So Nili very nice with the upgrades. Could use the next scale barding upgrade here, or the next, the next cavalry upgrade. Okay, town center being dropped for Yax. This is a good play. He needs this area protected. Gonna be able to protect it. The light cav now gonna die off, but another villager killed. It's 9-0 on the Eco KD, and Nili's up by 7 villagers. That's, not nothing. Certainly not nothing. Now the military, Nili overcommitting on this fight. No reason to commit so hard. You weren't gonna win that fight. You weren't gonna stop the TC. Throwing away both those Knights uselessly. Throwing away a lot of skirms uselessly over here too, I feel. The KD about even, but Nili's got to get the military production up. He's got to be adding skirms out of, and he needs, I think, another archer range for more elite skirmishers. Really, Nili's still being annoying over here. Dropping a town center himself. Good positioning on that. I like that. That's too exposed. Um, needs to back up, but I mean, really, the town center just tickles. You can see the worker efficiency last minute down here in the right corner, very much in favor for Nili. And what do we have here? The APM stats for these two players about the same. The idle eco 6.2%. For throughout the game, and the worker efficiency 5% better for Nili. Back to our main screen. Just checking in on some of the statistics. These knights doing nothing. These knights doing nothing. The three spearmen aren't going to beat two knights. I don't know. They're not. Nili really keeping Yax on his toes, though, and Yax has this garrison for who knows how long. Big deal there. Like, that's a massive issue that Yax has not noticed. That's enormous. That's honestly game-changing. And Yax trying to get up the Siege Workshop. Nili saying, no, I don't think so. I'm going to really delay this. Finally notices the eco's still pretty idle for Yax. Nili, this is... Okay, so Nili, with the smaller military, been able to keep the pressure on Yax's base the whole game up until right now. 8 villagers ahead for Nili. Yax making a counterattack. Nili needs to recognize this. I think he does. I don't know if he does. This crossbow army could put a hurting in. Let's see what's exposed back here. Nili's not that exposed. Everything's very, it's in this line. The town center on each end, not that exposed. Not a lot in this middle part of the line. Again, that's where all the production buildings are. So the spearman gonna find the opponent. I don't love how Nili just keeps moving into that TC. Okay, so Nili noticed moving his gold miners over here to a town center. Nicely done. Yak's not gonna find anything. And Nili diving to get some kills. He didn't get anything there. Oh, that was bad. Very bad for Nili there. And these crossbows getting a couple kills. Nili, pay attention. You already saw this. You reacted to it. I like this play here. Nili's just like, okay, I'll find a place. And 15 to 6 KD now on the Eco KD. And Nili coming back now with the skirmishers. Okay, gonna have to clean this up. Maybe come home. Yax is finally stabilizing in this game. So we're gonna get to see Bohemians against Magyars. Nili, woo! If that army had marched to there, Nili would have been in trouble. Yax really just trying to get out, get home now. He realizes pressure went away, and now he's pressuring the front of Nili's base. But there's a town center there. That's always a nice move. That's a move you can do. You see somebody's building farms, you can snipe those farms off before they're built, and your opponent loses the wood. It's the only building in the game where when you place the foundation, it is placed with 1 hit point, kind of like Age of Empires 1. And when that happens, you can destroy it in 1 whack. Anything, because the base damage of any unit is 1. Even if the pierce armor of a unit is higher than the attack of an archer, the archer still does 1 damage. And Nili really out of position here. Siege Workshop is up for it, though. That's going to be nice. The military numbers just haven't been there for Nili all game. I think it might matter now. But Nili, love this play. Realizes, okay, your army's at my base. I have the mobility on you, and I have the counter units. Ooh. Big moment here, though. Nili losing a lot of villagers. He's going to be tilted from this. I hope he keeps his cool, keeps his head, because he's still ahead in villager numbers. He killed a lot of villagers early from Yax. Still ahead in villager numbers. And he's going to get a little raid in. It's not going to do much, but cause some idle CC time. Okay, move. Yax very well protected. Up here's the only corner you can get in and cause some damage. Skirmishers for Nili, gonna be cleaning up. Man, these crossbows are strong. My goodness. Nili needs to run and hide. And losing those knights for nothing. You don't love to see that. Ooh, no. So he could get a snipe off there, but nope. Not the case. In town centers, you see 4 town centers dropped on Atacama. That's not for build production. like, if you can produce villagers out of it, great. But it's not for build production. It's really just for the, protection. Nili needs more than one mangonel. Well, he does have knights. He is playing into knights, but only 4 knights in 26. Nili's military production has just been a little slower. Gets 1. Nice. The knight comes in. That's 2. Does nuke his own knight. And gets a hit in. Not quite enough of a hit. That was nicely done by Nili. Got 2 of those mangonels down. But there's 2 more coming. Can't just stand and fight against the mangonel. Okay. Kills the mangonel off. You're gonna push the crossbows back, but another mangonel incoming. Nili, you're gonna need another one of your own. Doesn't have wood. So Nili's been struggling with wood again. And through the middle portion of this game, Nili's really struggling. The score is moving further and further in favor of Nili. But positioning is just a little scary for him. And the forward castle. This is going to be a big moment in the game. Can Nili stop this castle? Or can he transition over here? I think we could transition all this eco to this side and be okay. Even when this goes up, Nili can't do anything about it. I don't think he's got the military yet. No, not with him just losing everything for nothing. However, big shot. Drops 4 villagers. Drops some more villagers. Done some damage to this. And gets a big shot in on the crossbows. Able to be surprisingly annoying on this. Gets the mangonel kill. Gets some more villager kills. Gets another mangonel kill. Nili not going away quietly. I don't think it's GG even if this castle goes up. This is not a get out of my game castle. This is just a, a good position castle. So Nili, don't call GG. He does not. You see this whole open area. All right, build here, and then drop your own castle here. And just do a little bit of a base trade. And Nili, good. Smartly does not call the GG. Realizes he's 1,000 ahead in score for some reason. Oh, wow, the Bohemian castle creep, though. That castle's a bit more of a problem, because that would split Nili's base in half. Nili moving backwards instead of forwards. Not what I wanted to see. Looking for raids. I think Nili is in trouble in this game. And my favorite unit in the game, the Hussite Wagon. Favorite unit because of the history. Very cool history to this unit. If you haven't seen the history of the Hussite Wagon, look it up. Really very early form of tank. Very early form of a tank. Very cool. And a very good representation by Age of Empires with the cannons sticking out and the small arms fire coming afterwards. That's very accurate, true to life, along with the damage reduction for units behind. You would turn them into a fort. For some of my viewers, this might make sense. So on the Oregon Trail, when settlers were moving across from the East Coast the West Coast, in the United States of America, they would go in these wagon trains, and when they would get attacked, they would circle up into a fort with wagons, and that's what the Hussite wagons would do. They'd circle up into a little fort. Okay, that's why Nili's not scared. He just went fast in. Nicely done, and Yax is pretty far from him. So I like Nili's position. Just has to stay, keep enough of a military presence out there. Anyway, the Hussite wagons form up in this little fort, put all the archers inside of it, and the cavalry would stay outside and go and flank the enemy. The enemy would try to charge, and then they would just run into these Hussite wagons, and they couldn't get through. And any incoming arrows were blocked. Many incoming arrows were blocked by the wagons. And outgoing arrows were able to just be shot over or through little, they would have these little slots, like a castle wall, where they would shoot through, and they would, have some gaps in them occasionally, and you could fire out of those also. They They would chain the wagons together so you couldn't even push them over or anything. Very cool history effect. Really pushing the boundaries of timeline of Age of Empires or the Bohemians, just in general. Gunpowder heavy civ. Another cool thing about the unit is it was really very widely adopted for about 50 years, 50 to 100 years, that people were using the Hussite wagon, and just all over the place. Like the French adopted it very quickly, and then everybody the French fought had to adopt it very quickly, in which the French fought a lot of people. Constant wars at that point in history is in the mid 1400s, but around 1500, cannons became more powerful and more accurate, and we were able to just smash through the wooden walls of these Hussite forts, these mobile Hussite forts, and so they gave up on it. It didn't work any longer because cannons were too powerful. So the idea at this point was cannons were more like a shrapnel, like a massive stationary shotgun. So rather than shooting balls as much, so it worked for a brief period until cannons got a lot more powerful and precise. Good raid in here for Nili. When I saw this unit introduced on the side wagon, I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen until I looked at the history and I was like, wow, that's really good representation by Age of Empires. Surprisingly accurate, as Age of Empires tends to be. Surprisingly not ridiculous. And I like this town center. It's going to need to be, these fields are going to need to be walled in. I don't know if either player is going to notice this in time. We'll see. We'll see if they notice that. There's a lot of stuff going on. I certainly don't expect Nili to notice this while he's pushing these castles back out of his base. And I think he's going to be dropping his own castles in the middle. Yasin, Yax, which I think is Yasin, not anywhere close to the Imperial Age just yet. And yeah, Yax notices Nili does not. Nili taking control, gameplay decisions, and wisely, just patient. Knew he was in a better position. Knew he had the eco lead. Knew he was able to get to him first. Now coming over here with some knights, and Yasin doesn't know which direction to go. Was headed over here, Yax. Was headed over here, then headed back over here, and now dropping in town center here. And I expect to see a Nili castle there, or love to see it there, but I think that's a little too aggressive. I don't think he has the military control, so I think it's just going to be kind of there. The Magyar Hussar, a few of those are out just to snipe off some siege. Nili could be moving these forward just to start knocking down siege workshops. You don't want you really don't want I don't understand this castle. Or this castle. Nili. There's one valuable resource on this map that supersedes all the other ones. Alright? He just feels like he doesn't have the military control. I think Nili's panicking and wanted to spend that stone and just spent it on castles that protect nothing. Just build a castle in the middle of a desert with nothing around it. No resources, no protection. Like, two of them. I don't understand that. It's so odd to me. You're having trouble holding this area of the map. I think the Skirm Hussite wagon, or the Skirm Magyar Hussar, sorry, could do wonders here against the crossbow and cannon pikemen play. Skirms really counter all of that, and the Magyar Hussars are just a nice addition there. Need a lot of production, Nili. I want to see like 6 archery ranges being dropped. That's a better castle. Don't love that one either. I would love to see it a little closer, but these cannons are scary. I think that's what's going on. And Nili wants to raid the Bohemian player to death. The Bohemian player is not really set up to be raided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 town centers and a castle protecting his eco. Nili now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 castles, and 1, 2, 3. I guess it's here. 5 castles and town centers. Wow. These are all pointless. Like, the position on these is terrible. These are just in the middle of nowhere, Nili clinging onto this little edge of the wood line, moving around, just taking up all these little trees. Very inefficient. Nili at 200 pop. He's going to engage because why not? You're at 200 pop and you've got production. And this is a big fight for Nili. Gonna take control. This is GG. All right, Nili, I apologize. You knew what you were doing. You were building those castles to get that Magyar Hussar production to just end the game. Well played, Nili. Showing what patience and good decision making can bring to the table. I don't really know what Yax's mistakes were. I think that castle was a bit aggressive, but I don't see a big mistake with that. Just a nice play by Nili and getting to imp faster. Yax not expecting that fast imp, I would guess. And if you see the military, let's see Nili fighting with the better unit all game long, as well as having a better army, ending the game with more army, but fighting with the counter units, not better units, counter units all game long. Economically, you can see that Nili just really ahead the whole game in economy, technology, society stats. Nili, the bigger, almost overboom, but just went into all those farms for those units. And you can see both players actually surprisingly fast. I didn't realize Nili was that fast of a player. It's 70 APM. It's a good showing by GL.Nili against Yax. I hope you enjoyed this Empire Wars showcase. I've been dropping a lot of Empire Wars content because I'm excited for Red Bull. I hope you are too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you